I got the little notification. Okay. You're consenting to be recorded. Yes.
Yes. Everyone hit yes, please.
Guys, at certain points in tonight's meeting, you might not see my face, but that's okay. The most important part is that you can see what I'm doing with my body. So for today's session, let me introduce myself. My name is Sam, and I am the volunteer director for Social Olympics Maryland, for those of you who may not know me. I have been doing yoga for the past couple years. It's been a really good way for me to find some different ways to work on my flexibility and not get bored, honestly, because sometimes stretching can be a little boring. But the nice thing about yoga is it engages your body as much as it engages your mind. So to get started tonight, we're going to go ahead and start sitting down. So if you want to go ahead and just get seated, if you feel comfortable crossing your legs, go ahead and do that. If it's more comfortable for you to sit with your legs right out, go for it. We just want to make sure we're nice and comfortable. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to go ahead and place our hands on our knees. And we're going to make sure that we are sitting up as straight as we can, as comfortably as we can. What you kind of want to imagine is like there's a string at the top of your head and someone is pulling that string. So we sit up as straight as we can, as much as our bodies allow us to. We just want to be nice and comfortable. A foundational piece of yoga is your breathing. So what you want to make sure you do is we're going to do a couple of deep breaths together to kind of get the feeling for what these breaths should feel like. So you're going to go ahead, place your hands on your knees. If you would like to close your eyes, go ahead. And we're going to breathe in through our nose, out through our mouth. And we're just going to make sure we're taking nice, big breaths. We want to feel our chest expand. We want to feel how good that breath feels in our bodies. And we're going to go ahead and do that on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And as we're doing it, you just want to make sure you feel the breath in your stomach area and your diaphragm. So make sure to keep your shoulders away from your ears. I kind of messed up on that one because I let my shoulders rise, but you do want to keep your shoulders low. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And one more, in through your nose and out through your mouth. So the first stretch I'm going to show you tonight, since we're already on the ground, is one that's really good for stretching out your back, stretching out your hips. And what you're going to do is, so as you're seated, if you are able, you're going to go ahead and take your feet and you're going to try to press your feet together. So like the palms of your feet together. You're able to, and if not, just get as close as you can. You just really want to make sure that your legs are kind of open. You can feel the stretch in your hips. And then what we're going to do from here is go ahead and place your hands on your feet. And we're going to take 3 big breaths in this pose. Are you ready? So breath number 1, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really feeling that stretch in your hips area. And one more through your nose and out through your mouth. And I lied, we're doing one more through our nose and out through our mouths. And then if you're ever doing this stretch before a competition, one thing you can do is sit up straight and you can actually lean forward in this pose, kind of holding onto your feet. That helps stretch out your backs. You'll probably feel it a little bit in your shoulders. Basically what it is, it's your mid and lower back kind of pulling forward. And you just want to make sure as you're bending forward at your hips. So we sit up nice and straight and we bend forward from our hips and we come down and we hold on to our feet. And that helps kind of open up your back, open up your shoulders, open up your hips more. This is a really good opening stretch for anything where you're going to be running, where you're going to be kind of like pumping your arms, getting going, you know what I mean? This is a good stretch that I really enjoyed when I was doing soccer. So just so you have this in your tool belt, and we're going to go ahead and come back up. Hello. Now we're sitting up, we're looking at each other. We're feeling great so far. Now we're going to go ahead and do a couple poses from a standing position. So if you're able to stand, if not, you can use your arms for this and do it from your arms. So we're going to go ahead and we're standing up and we're going to, well, now I'm going to face you. I don't know why I faced to the side there. And the pose we're going to do now is mountain pose. So with mountain pose, you want to go ahead and ground yourself. So you're going to want to go ahead and make sure your torso is long, you're standing up straight. And if you are able to, go ahead and put your hands together and raise them above your head like this, just so you guys can see me. And we're going to go ahead and making sure we're standing up nice and straight. We've got our shoulders away from our ears. we're gonna take 3 big breaths in a mountain pose. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Awesome. Okay, so from mountain pose here, we're gonna do a little bit of a balance challenge. So for everyone who's standing, what I want you to do, if you're able to, go ahead and plant your foot. Go ahead and plant we'll say your left foot, and take your right foot and see if you can put it underneath your knee onto your calf area. Awesome, I see a couple people doing it, good job. So with this pose, go ahead and pick a spot on the wall to focus on. And once again, we're gonna make sure we're standing up straight. We're going to put our hands together at our chest. We're gonna pick that point on the wall. Take 2 breaths in this position since it is a challenge pose. So go ahead and pick your spot on the wall. Make sure you got your leg underneath you got your foot underneath your knee if you're able to. We're gonna take 2 big breaths. Ready? In through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Awesome. And that's tree pose. And now we're gonna go ahead and switch to our right foot. So plant your right foot. Plant your right foot. And when you're planting your foot, you kind of want to do it in a way that you have your whole foot pressed to the ground. And if you're really in a good spot, you should be able to actually lift up your toes and still be able to balance. I know that kind of sounds funny, but it's like if the rest of your foot is planted, it kind of almost looks like this. So if I take my hands, this hand is the floor and this hand is my foot that's balancing, I can press my entire foot to the ground and then lift my toes. And that's how you know you've got a good balance going on. So now we're on our right leg. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our left foot, we're gonna place it against our calf. We're gonna pick that spot on the wall that is not moving to stare at. We're gonna place our hands at our chest and we're gonna take those 2 nice big breaths. Are you ready? In through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Amazing. Alrighty, and from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna plant our feet. And I'm gonna face this way so you guys can see what I'm doing. And this is a really good stretch for kind of working on your back, working out your core. And this is actually called chair pose. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna bend your legs, you're gonna bend your knees, and you're gonna shift your butt back almost like you're gonna sit in a chair, okay? And then you're gonna take your hands and you're gonna put them to your heart. And for those who may already be seating, that's totally okay, because what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a twist. And it actually helps work out our core, it helps work out our back, and it can actually help you if you just had dinner with digestion. It's pretty cool. So you're gonna go ahead and place your hands to your heart, and we're gonna scoop to the left, and we're twisting. And you should be able to feel this in your abs, feel it a little bit in your hip. And we're gonna go ahead and take 2 breaths here. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Awesome, and then we're gonna come back to center. Make sure you got yourself nice and aligned. You don't want your knees going past your toes. We're in our chair, we're sitting, we're looking awesome, we're looking strong. And then you're gonna go ahead and we're gonna scoop to the right. And we're gonna take 2 nice big breaths here. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And then we're gonna come back to center, and then we're gonna rise slowly. Awesome, you all looked really good there. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna go ahead, so we're in a standing position, and we're gonna go ahead and, gathering my thoughts. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go into downward dog. Now I know last time we did this, a couple people said it was a pose they really liked. I personally really like it because it stretches out my back, and I've always kind of had a bum back. So what we're gonna do from here is we are in standing position. We're gonna go ahead and slowly go to our toes, drop down, walk your hands out so that your hands are underneath your shoulders. And then we're gonna walk our feet back so we're in a high plank position almost. I had to walk a little forward on that one because my hands weren't exactly underneath my shoulders. And from here, we're gonna raise our hips and lean back. So we're in kind of this triangle pose looking. And this is downward dog. So downward dog is named exactly because it looks like when a dog is stretching. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and take 3 nice big breaths in downward dog. So we're gonna go in through our nose, out through our mouths, in through our nose, and out through our mouths, in through our nose, and out through our mouths. Awesome. And in this pose, something you can do to kind of help the stretch is you can walk your feet out. So just kind of shift weight from left to the right. And it's going to help you get in a good spot, whether you're about to run or whether you just finished running, to kind of stretch out your legs. And from downward dog, we're going to go into up dog. So with up dog, what you want to do is you're going to bring yourself forward. So your shoulders are over top of your hands again. And you're going to let your belly drop. And you're going to raise your head up. Now, for my friends who are able to, you can hold yourself up like this. Or if it's more comfortable, you can let your thighs touch the ground and lift your head up. And we're gonna go ahead and take 1 big breath here. Let it out. And then we're gonna tuck our toes and we're gonna go back to downward dog. So go ahead and rock back to downward dog. And kind of put out those feet. Take another deep breath in here, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then from this pose, we're gonna go ahead and drop your knees. And we're gonna come to tabletop position, which is exactly what it kind of sounds like. You're kind of sitting at a table, you got your knees to the ground, you got your hands on the ground. You're nice and planted through all points of your body that are touching the mat. And from here, we're gonna go ahead and do a couple cat-cows. I know a couple people said this was their favorite last time, so I hope I'm making you happy by having a comeback here. So we're gonna go ahead and on our breath in, we're gonna let our stomach sink to the ground. So we're gonna kind of breath in through your nose. Oh, I made a mistake there. On your breath in, you're actually gonna round out. And then as you're breathing out, you're gonna let your stomach dip and your head go up. So let's practice that together. So on our breath in, we're gonna round out our back. We're gonna push into our hands. We're gonna go ahead and we're looking like a cat. You know, you're looking like a scared cat. So breathe nice in here, in through your nose. And then as we're letting out the air, we are sinking our bellies towards the ground. We're raising our heads up to look at the ceiling. And we're in cow. So let's go ahead and do that again. We're gonna take a nice breath in, round into being a cat. Look at the ground, look at your knees. We're rounding. And then on our breath out, we're gonna let our bellies sink. We're letting our heads go up again. We are in cow. And then one more time, we're gonna round out our back. We're going into cat. You're looking at the ground or your thighs, whichever is more comfortable. And then letting out our breath, we're letting our bellies sink. We are back into cow. We're greeting the ceiling. We're saying hello. Awesome, you guys look so good. Alrighty. And from here, we're gonna slide into one of my personal favorite positions. It's really good for your back. It's good for opening up your hips. It kind of gives you that second of rest after maybe you've done something really strenuous, or maybe you're just having a rough day and like to clear your mind. This is a really good pose for it. It's called child's pose. So how to get to child's pose from tabletop, what you're gonna do is you're going to bring your butt back to your heels. You're gonna rest on your heels, and then you're gonna slide your hands forward and let your head drop. And you're kind of sitting here, you got your belly to your thighs, you got your hands out in front of you. And we're gonna go ahead and do 3 nice big breaths here in child's pose. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Awesome. And then from child's pose, you're just gonna shift forward back into that tabletop position. You're gonna have your hands underneath your shoulders. You guys are looking great. Look at you guys looking nice and strong. Now, when you're in tabletop, just in case you ever kind of want to hang out on tabletop, you just want to make sure that you're keeping your back kind of straight, kind of flush. It's a little hard for me because sometimes my back just doesn't want to do that. but just making sure that you're making sure you are putting weight on on your hands and your knees, and it's all equally distributed, because you don't want to be kind of sinking to one side like this or sinking to one side like that, because then your body's just doing some things that might not be entirely comfortable. And we just want to make sure in yoga we're going to a point where we feel the stretch, but we're not in pain. That's the most important part. Alrighty, from here, we're gonna go ahead and rise into a plank. So with that, you're gonna put your hands underneath your shoulders, bring your feet up, and then we're gonna go ahead and walk our hands forward. So we're back to standing, rise up slowly. I was checking what time it was because I left my phone over there and I have my laptop all the way over there, and I just want to make sure I'm being respectful of our time. So we're back up, we're standing. You guys look awesome. And from here, we're gonna go ahead and do a couple poses that work on our shoulders, that work on our core, and kind of allow us to really focus. So what you're gonna wanna do here is we're gonna go to the right first. So go ahead and put your knee out in front of you, and we're gonna get into kind of like a lunge position. So with being in a lunge position, the most important thing is that you make sure your knee does not go past your foot, because if your knee goes past your foot, you're gonna be causing yourself a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of pain, and it just kind of overstretches your knee. So you just really wanna make sure that when you're in a lunge, your left foot is back, your right foot is over your knee, they are lined up. Actually, really you want your knee to be right over top of your ankle so your knee doesn't go past your foot. And from here, we're gonna do one of my favorite poses, warrior. It feels really strong. And I think you look kind of cool when you're in it. You know, it kind of looks like a battle stance, if you've ever been a kind of a video game person. So we're gonna go ahead and put our hands, we're gonna put our hands out to the sides first and then twist into warrior. So with this warrior, you're gonna wanna make sure, since we're facing to the right, that your right hand is out in front of you, your left hand is behind you. You wanna kind of line your hips up so that they're out, and keep your hands out to the side. So kind of like your torso is straight, your hands are out to the side, you're gazing over your right middle finger. So you're just looking straight ahead. And then what you want to also make sure you're doing here is that your left foot is turned out to face the front, and that helps keep you stable here. So we've got our arms out to the side, and we're gonna go ahead and take 3 nice big breaths in our warrior position. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then as you're breathing out, just kind of let your body relax into the position. So if you notice maybe my knee slides a little bit forward, it's because my hips and everything are kind of getting used to being in this position. So we're gonna take one more breath. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. Awesome. And now from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna straighten our right leg. We're gonna point both feet forward. And what I kind of want you to do here is, this just feels really good, and this is just something I enjoy doing when switching from warrior to warrior. Go ahead and reach down and just touch the ground. And kind of let your shoulders fold inward, let your hands fold inward. And we're gonna take 2 nice breaths here. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And then rise back up. I like to do that stretch. It just kind of helps your hamstrings. I'm definitely a person who needs to work on my hamstring strength, so I do enjoy doing that. And now we're gonna do warrior facing the left. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn our left foot forward. We're gonna bend that right knee. If you need to spread your legs out a little more, like I just did, that's totally okay. Once again, making sure your left knee is right over top of your left ankle. It's gonna keep you from hurting your knee. And then we're gonna make sure that our right foot is still facing forward. Our left foot is facing that way. We're gonna shift our hips. We're gonna turn, make sure our torso is facing forward. And then we're gonna take our hands and put them out to the sides with our left hand in front. And we're gonna gaze over our left middle finger, making sure we're keeping our shoulders kind of like this nice straight line. I have to check myself in the camera because sometimes I do bird arms, and I just wanna make sure I'm keeping it nice and straight. Okay, so we're gonna look to our left, and we're gonna take 3 nice big breaths here. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, Out through your mouth. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Awesome. And once again, we're going to turn that left foot to the front. We're going to come back facing the front and we're going to bend. We're going to go ahead and bend forward, place our hands on the ground and take 2 nice big breaths here. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Awesome. And here's another pose for my runners. This one is called Lord of the Dance, and there's a couple different variations on how to do this. There's one that's a little more advanced, and there's one that's a little more, if you've never done it before, comfortable. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing, and we're going to start with our left foot. So we're standing, and what we're going to do is I'm going to pick up my left foot and place it in my left hand. I'm going to pick a spot on the wall to stare at. I'm going to make sure I'm nice and planted through my right foot. And then I'm going to take my right hand and just raise it straight up to the sky, or as straight as you can get it. So this is the if you're newer to yoga, this is the kind of the beginner's pose for Lord of the Dance. There is a variation where you kind of spread your leg out a little more and you hold it like this. But if this is comfortable, do this. If you can get it a little further out, by all means, go for it, but do not hurt yourselves. Kind of find that point where it's comfortable for you. The cool thing about yoga is it allows you to kind of find that point where you're feeling the stretch and you feel good, and you can go further or you can kind of stay where you are. So we're gonna go ahead and take 3 nice big breaths here, meeting me wherever you are. So if you're here, that's awesome. If you're here, that's awesome. Just whatever's most comfortable for you. And we're gonna go ahead and stand up nice and straight and take those 3 breaths. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Awesome. And then very carefully, we're going to bring our right hand down. We're going to let go of our left foot and let it drop slowly so you're keeping your balance. Look at all those beautifully balanced people. You guys look awesome. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn this way so you can see that I'm doing it on the other foot. So now we're going to go ahead and plant our left foot. We're nice and strong in that left foot. And we're going to put our right hand down and we're going to catch our right foot. So once again, if this is comfortable, awesome. If this is comfortable, go ahead and do that. You just really want to find where you're comfortable and where you're feeling the stretch, and where you should be feeling the stretch is kind of in this front part of your leg and your knee. And then we're going to take our left hand and put it straight up, or as straight as we can get it. And we're going to go ahead and take 3 nice big breaths here. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Awesome. You all look awesome. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our left hand down. We're going to go ahead and let go of our right leg and slowly bring that to the ground. Awesome. All righty. So what we're going to do next is another pose that kind of helps us work on stability, helps us. Okay. This is going to be the last one, Kayla, I promise. So this next pose helps you work on stability. It helps you kind of, once again, kind of do a little bit of a twist. So the cool thing with twist is if you're like me and sometimes you have digestive issues, that might be TMI, but maybe it's not. This really helps make sure that you got your stomach in a good spot. You know, you're kind of helping your body do what it's got to do. So what we're doing from here is we're going to go ahead and spread our feet out. So we're making like this really cool little triangle shape with our feet. Okay. And we're going to go ahead, let me spread out my legs a little bit more. I know I can stretch more than that. Stretch to where you're comfortable. I always kind of have to find where I'm comfortable just because it changes. You know, if I stretched earlier, if I didn't stretch earlier, you guys know how it goes. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands out to the side. And we're going to go to the right first. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drop our right hand, and you kind of want your right hand to end up by your ankle. Your left hand is up in the air. And then if you're able to, gaze up at your left hand. And we're going to take 3 nice breaths here in triangle pose. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And one more breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Awesome. You should be feeling a nice stretch all through here. So what we're going to do then is we're going to rise back up. We're going to come to this cool shape in the middle here. You need to wiggle that out a little bit. Go ahead and do that. I do enjoy a good wiggle. And then what we're going to do from here is we're back in this cool middle position. We're going to drop that left hand to the side. It's going to end up behind our ankle. We're going to gaze up to that right hand that's nice up in the air, nice and bright. And we're going to take 3 big breaths here. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Awesome. And then we're going to come back to the middle here. And then to end out our practice, you should always end your practice in Shavasana, which is kind of a restful pose. So Shavasana, you can do one of 2 ways. You can do it completely laying down on your mat. So kind of like just, hands and feet out. I think I disappeared from you. Nope, there I am. You're just kind of laying on the ground. Or you can also do it in a seated position, whichever one is really comfortable for you. Because the main point of Shavasana is closing out your practice the same way you started it, with nice, big, deep breaths, thanking your body, and kind of just, taking a moment to reflect on your day, think about where you are. So go ahead and place your hands on your knees. Sit up straight. Oh, if you're sitting, sit up straight. If you're laying down, just palms to the ground is good. And what we're going to do here is, once again, we're going to take 3 nice big breaths to close out our practice. And as we're taking those 3 deep breaths, I want you to think of 3 things you're grateful for, okay? So we're going to take a nice big breath in through our nose, out through our mouths, in through your nose, out through your mouth, and in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you've got some new things in your toolbox. And if not all the poses were new to you, I hope you kind of got an opportunity to kind of work on those again. I know there's a lot of poses that I started out kind of like, and now I feel like I do them pretty good. So it's the cool thing about yoga is there's always a good time and place to practice it. And it's not too hard to practice, I don't think. So thank you guys so much for your attention. I really appreciate getting to spend this time with you.